Solomon, of course, used those trees to build his temple, and sadly denuded the mountains of Lebanon from those trees. But if you go to a certain place in Lebanon, you will find a grove of about 30 or 40 trees that people tell me some of them are 2 or 3 or even 4,000 years old. And I remember as a child just marveling at the beauty and the majesty of those trees that have been on this planet longer, far longer than anything that we could imagine. And even though they are old, they are still bearing fruit. So listen again to that part of the passage that Lydia read, the part that I really like to focus on. The righteous flourish like the palm tree and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. Even in old age, they still produce fruit. They are always green and full of sap, or as I like to say, sappy. How do you like those phrases? Even in old age, they still produce fruit. They are always green and full of sap. Because that's a hope and aspiration I think all of us can share, that even as we get older, that our lives continue to bear fruit. That even as we get older, that we continue to be green and sappy, that we still have a fresh and spunky spirit about us. And we often have fun thinking about the process of getting older. And here's a few birthday and aging jokes that you might find amusing. You've heard this one: what goes up, it doesn't come down. Your age. What did one candle say to the other? Don't birthdays burn you up? Why are birthdays good for you? Well, statistics show that people who have the most birthdays live the longest. And what is the definition of a true friend? Somebody who remembers your birthday, but not your age. Friends, despite all the fun we have poking at ourselves as we deal with the reality of getting older, there is so much to celebrate about the gift of long life here on this earth, because life and time are gifts from God, and God wants us to use those gifts well. So as we get older, it's good for us to ask the question, am I aging well? Are we making the most of the time that God has given us? Are we embracing every additional day and week and month and year of life as the gift that it is? So that's why my sermon title is The Secrets of Aging Well, the secrets of living a long and full and productive and fruit-bearing life. And the fact is that we can learn so much from each other, and I think there'd be a value sometime to have a Zoom meeting or to sit around and maybe everybody share one secret from their life that they have learned that has helped them to age well. That's something we could try sometime. But what are the secrets of aging well? We may kid about it, but the fact is it is a very serious question. An American writer and philosopher once wrote these very troubling words. He said, most men, and I think he includes women, lead lives of quiet desperation and die with their song still within them. And I think, ouch, how tragic to live your life and have all those years and still feel that your song is still within you without having found the meaning of life, without having been able to grasp what it means to live life joyfully, gladly, and faithfully. God wants better for us, and our faith can help us to do that. And so today,